reports. I would indicate only a couple of things. First, that I did attend U.S. Conference of Mayors meetings in Washington, D.C. last week. We are a dues-paying member of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, but have not had a great deal of involvement in the past. And one of the good things about it was an opportunity to go without paying the registration fee, which is something that they offered to new mayors. So I took advantage of it, and my overall observations are that it's an organization that is quite different than National League of Cities, but at the same time can be quite valuable. So my recommendation, it would be that we continue to be involved with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and certainly I will be providing information to all of you on council as you desire related to the kinds of things that I ran into. And then secondly, was privileged last week to be a part of the state celebrations for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday in Denver City Park, to be able to represent the city of Aurora and make us a part of those ongoing celebrations. So I was pleased and happy to do that. Reports by the council. Let's start with Councilmember Hunter Hogan. Nothing. Councilmember Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For all the folks in North Aurora who live in Adams County, we're still trying to work with Adams County regarding the closure of the DMV site on Chambers, and also working with them for upcoming voting locations for the upcoming elections. So we're probably going to have one of the Adams County officials, whether it looks to be the clerk and recorder, Karen Hall, at our February town hall, hopefully. If not, we'll try and get her in March. So you can come and ask your questions about what's going on in Adams County, and hopefully we can get you some better answers. And also, we'll provide contact information for those folks in Adams County in case you would like to contact your elected officials and representatives up there and voice your concerns as well. We're going to start our 2012 Ward 1 February town halls. Most likely, they're going to be on the first Tuesday. We'll have it pinned down tomorrow. So please be checking auroragov.org for the time, date, and location. And of course, I'll send out the email that I normally send out to everyone as well. Thank you.
Councilmember Peterson.
Yes, I'd just like to say it was really a wonderful experience to go to Denver and celebrate Martin Luther King's birthday. And I was so proud of our mayor who came and addressed everyone there in Denver and as they presented the wreath at the memorial statue. And Aurora really, we just shined there. It was really neat. The motorcade went into the city there, and we brought police and firefighters, and it was really an exciting time. But I mostly want to compliment our mayor on his wonderful little talk that he gave there. It was really neat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think I'll be the entertainment queen for the night. If you've never experienced 20 teams of 4 people each racing through a Safeway store in the span of 20 minutes shopping for a cause, you haven't lived. Tomorrow night in Ward 4 at the Safeway on Havana at about Jewel is the 2nd annual Comitas Grocery Cart Race, which is an adventure. I've given up my team for this year, so I'll just be doing registration. But the costumes and the names, just as a hint, one of the team's names, if you can stand this, is the Serial Killers. But we're going to have a great time. So if anybody's free tomorrow at 7, join us at the Safeway on Havana. We're also working in Ward 4. On Thursday night is the first ward meeting of the year. Thursday the 26th, we'll be at the Bent Noodle. I don't want to argue with people. We have a wonderful restaurant called the Bent Fork. We're meeting at the Bent Noodle, and that's the one on Parker and Dartmouth. I know where we're going. I've had people arguing with me about which location. It's the Bent Noodle. Somebody from Pros, Parks, Rec, and Open Space is going to be there. You can come find out who the 3 amazing Aurorans were from last quarter. And Barbara Peck is going to talk to us about a special offer she's doing for Valentine's Day for photos for all you lovebirds. And lastly, I did not think I was going to enjoy the production at the Fox. It's The Elephant Man, and it's presented by Family, which is the League of Handicapped Actors. And it's a story about coping with disabilities. And I thought, this is entertainment. But I wanted to honor the theater, and I wanted to go. It is the most phenomenally philosophical, deep, well-produced production, and we've seen a lot of good stuff at the Fox. It's on through February 4th. If you haven't gone or have an opportunity to go, it's not what you think. It's a phenomenal piece of dramatic representation. Highly recommend it. The end.
Councilmember Laguerre.
Yes, Mayor, I wanted to report on a police event that I attended. This was an event in the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King, and it was the Multicultural Police Awareness event. And what the police department did is up in the police gym up on the Fitzsimmons campus, they did role-playing demonstrations on what would happen when a vehicle is stopped. And this was done for the immigrant community. We had a very good attendance at this event, and I would say, I'm going to guess that there were at least 5 or 6 different languages spoken there, and there was a translator. And basically what they did is they have these cars set up in the gym, and they had police officers that played the driver of the vehicle and police officers that played the role of stopping the vehicle for a citation. And it allowed the audience to ask questions about what would happen if. And they translated, these were done in Spanish and English, and it was just a very good way for these for the immigrant community to get an idea of what it's like to have the officers answer the questions. One of the problems that we have in the original Aurora and immigrant community is that they don't understand our police department. They don't understand that the police department is here to help them because they may have come from a country where the police are not your friends. And this is one of the biggest hurdles the police department faces, is getting the immigrant communities to understand that they can call and ask for help and report crimes without fearing the police. So I just wanted to mention that it was a very well-attended event, and I understand from the chief that we're going to hold this type of event again. So thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Clone.
A couple things. First of all, I want to thank Councilmember Laguerre on that. There is a group in original Aurora, it's called Oasis, that our police department works with. And that's kind of what this group does, is trying to work with a lot of different populations. And it's a collaborative effort from a lot of different groups working together. And I just am very proud of the work that our police department and the various groups within the city of Aurora to work with a very diverse population that the city has. So thank you for reporting on it. I think that's another positive for the city of Aurora. The other thing that I have is I have an appointment to the Citizens Advisory Budget Committee, and I'm appointing Dave Gilbert.
Councilmember Broom.
Thank you, Mayor. This must be International Night. Councilman Bob FitzGerald and I both met with the Korean community Saturday evening to talk with them. And it was a very interesting conversation. In fact, these meetings have been going on for the last several years, and I think it's really good when we have an opportunity to sit down and discuss things with them, and I look forward to working closely with them in the future. The only other thing that I wanted to mention was I've had to reschedule my first Ward 6 town meeting, which I originally scheduled for February 7th. And I scheduled that back in December, but in the meantime, the political parties are getting in a big hurry for this November election, so they've moved their caucuses forward to February 7th. And so in order to accommodate that, I've moved my meeting to February the 14th. But it's not going to be at Shalom Park. It's going to be held at the Mission Vale Library. So that's 7 o'clock on February 14th at the Mission Vale Library. Thank you.
Councilmember FitzGerald.
Thank you, Mayor. Wednesday, I'm going to attend the Chamber Board meeting at 7:30 in the morning, which to me is sacrificial, but nonetheless. I want to ask the Chamber, in all seriousness, to see if they could survey their members to see what their members think kids should come out of high school with to have a job. In other words, what are the skills that the businesses in Aurora are really distinctly looking for? Because I think that might help our high schools and our high school graduates. And along that vein, it's a little different and it's international. I think every senior graduating from an Aurora high school should have to pass, not get an A, but should have to pass the naturalization exam, which is a series of 100 questions regarding civics. I think if people coming into the country have to pass that our folks already living and being citizens before they enter adulthood should have to pass that test. And I'd like to ask the school boards of our two particular school districts to talk about implementing this as a plan.
Councilmember Berzins.
Thank you. Good idea. I want to announce that we're having our first Ward meeting, Ward 3 meeting, on Thursday, February 9th. Now, I've always had them on Wednesday, but I'm going to shake them up. So it's Thursday, February 9th at 6:30 at the Aurora Chamber, same place. It's the third floor. That's at the Westera building, right beside, right across from the Aurora Town Center. And I want to say thank you, Joseph Soto, for wanting to be reappointed. The city has a lot of boards and commissions, and we always are looking for volunteers. And if you're interested at all in helping the city, learning more about the city, getting involved, we would love to have you serve on a board or commission. You can go to the city website and find out what we need, or you can call the city, call Access Aurora, and they'll be happy to put you in touch with the right person. Thanks.
Councilmember Roth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 3 items this evening. The first one is, at our first Ward 5 Town Hall meeting, we had Mary Ann Bonnell present, and it's kind of a long title. It's called Interface Between Humans and Coyotes in an Urban Environment. But basically what it is learning to live with predatory animals and how to protect your pets and, you know, all those sorts of issues, how to keep the wildlife so we can see them but not directly interface with them. She's very entertaining, very knowledgeable. She's a nationally recognized speaker, and I know that she does this presentation at HOAs and other ward town hall meetings. So if you're interested in having her present at your neighborhood meeting, please contact her through the city website, and I'm sure that she'd be happy, as her schedule permits, to come and present. The second thing is for my February meeting, which is, it's a little ways out, but it's Monday the 20th at 6:30. Location is Peace with Christ Lutheran Church, and we are going to have meet the mayor and the 4 at-large council members. And I will tell you that I do have commitments from all 5 of them, the mayor and all 4 at-large council members, so not to put them on the spot, but I do have commitments from them that they'll be there. So please come with your questions, comments. I'm sure that they'll be happy to answer all of them for you. And then my third item is on a personal note, if I may. Since I've mentioned him before, I got a phone call from my son this morning, and the phone call came from stateside. He is back from Afghanistan, and I'm very glad that he's home.
Good news.
Very good news.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Can I just suggest to Councilmember Broom that his meeting is on Valentine's Day? Did you consult Ruthie before you scheduled that?
Well, we're going to have Valentine cookies.
And you think Ruthie will care?
All right.
You better have some Valentine flowers before you go.
And chocolate.
Yoo-hoo.
Next is public invited to be heard. I have no speaker slips filled out, but want to offer the opportunity to anyone in the audience. See no one rush forward. We're adjourned.